Today, I want to share something with you that it may seem like a super tiny detail, but it's quite fascinating. So if you go to the workload, the calendar, you will see how many repetitions you have done. This is empty because it's a backup. So that's what I did today while shooting videos. So that means I have five item repetitions and 12 topic repetitions. But what happens when it's the last repetition I do on a topic? Let's actually try this out. So let me open. I'm forcing the queue to have very short topics. So I'm pretty sure they will be one action away from being done, right? Go. So keep this in mind. 5, 12. How you do a horizontal line in the wiki syntax or this. I made a cloze deletion. So therefore I created this item. And what happens? That you have the automatic repetition, unlike Anki and other flashcard apps. The first repetition is not the first time you see this on repetitions. It's when you create it. Cool. So what happens? I just did this cloze deletion. Therefore, I created this item. So what's going to happen? 12, 6. Huh. Interesting. Let's do another one. Another cloze deletion. So now what happens? 7, 12. So in fact, when you do the repetitions here, it's counting the ones you have just created as well. And you can also know that if you go to new items, I have 7 new items today and 7 repetitions. So in this case, it's an edge case. That means that I haven't done any genuine repetition today for items. All of my repetitions have been done the first, so that the creation of the items. Interesting. But that doesn't finish here. I have 12, remember this number, topics. So what happens that, well, I'm done, right? So I will apply done. But before this, let's see the history. That was scheduled in May 2023, and it's January 2024. So that is way, way overdue. But still, it's the third repetition. That will be the third repetition. But what's going to happen is that instead of moving on and click on learn, I'm done, so I will apply done. Yes, and yes. So what happens is that I still have the third repetition. But instead of future, is dismissed. So, what's going to happen? Control W. Stays at 12. So even if I did the last repetition on that element, that is a topic, is not being counted as such. Let's move on. What do I still have here? 12 doesn't update because when you move to the next element is when you actually have the repetition registered. White fat is na-na-na in mitochondria. Poor. Now we'll have 8. Exactly, 8. And 12 repetitions for topics. I'm done with this. Apply done. Moving on. And still at 12. So if I continue to do this subset in a way that, let's pretend I want to know how many grams David Sinclair takes. The wiki, okay, the syntax for internal link. This will need to readjust the wording of the question, but for the sake of the example, I will not do that and go straight to just clozing. But for men, mimics fasting. Next. NEAT stands for what? Non-exercise activity thermogenesis. Cool. Boom. Next. What is this? The syntax for category tag in the wiki. Boom. So I lost count already of what I did. But let's do that. Let's check. So now I have 13. I created overall 13 items. So all of the repetitions are from those creations, but the topic repetitions stay the same. I knew that last year, only last year. That means that for 3 years, I was not misled, but I didn't catch that detail. So that means that when you go to the collection stats, so I know in this superall backup, I have 1.705 repetitions per topic by average. Let's simplify 1.7. That includes the last one that is not being counted. So what's going to happen? That in those cases, that in my case, as a user, I'm a heavy extractor. That means that instead of having a huge topic and do some small changes and do the cloze deletion right away, I prefer a more iterative approach. So I have more atomic what I want. So I will only need 1 or maximum 2 repetitions to do the cloze deletion, the item. Unless I actually need several cloze deletions. It will take more reps. But usually that will be the case. So therefore, if we assume that by average, I need it's 1 repetition away, how many repetitions will I do? The automatic. And after the automatic, I will apply done. So therefore, I only have 1 repetition, not 2. So it's quite curious, like the silly joke with the dog. When it goes to sleep, the last one is never counted. So have this in perspective next time you see those stats and see, it kind of low the quantity of reps I do for topics. Well, assuming first, most of topics will be untouched, unseen yet. But even if you only take into account the ones you have done 1 rep, the average will be kind of low anyways. So good to know, right? So nothing more to add today, and see you incrementally.